We're currently at the Imperial War Museum, standing in front of a small boat that crossed an ocean. On the 21st of August 1940, the British merchant steamer Anglo-Saxon was carrying Welsh coal bound for Argentina when it was torpedoed and shelled by this German raider Widder, 500 miles off the coast of Azores. The captain died in the early strikes. Lifeboats were mostly shattered, and only 7 men made it off board into this tiny jolly boat here. The 7 men were mostly very young. There was 21-year-old Roy Hamilton Pilcher. He had been shot in the initial attack and his foot was severely injured. Francis Penny was 44 years old, the oldest in the company, shot in the wrist and hips in the attack. He was described as a good-natured family man. Then there was Barry Collingwood Denny, 31 years old. He was a calm leader, the one that had jettisoned this boat off board for the 7 men to escape on, and he wrote a log of their adventures as they were stuck out in the middle of the ocean. Lionel Henry Hawkes was 22 years old, new to the sea. This was his first voyage, and he was described as being terrified of water. 21-year-old Leslie Morgan was described as bubbly from Newport. And then there was Roy Widdicombe. This was actually his second time being sunk out at sea. He'd been stuck for a week, abandoned on a boat as it drifted through the ocean, only on his first voyage in World War II. He was 21 years old and married. And Bob Tapscott, 19 years old, the only teenager in the group, from Cardiff, a sailor trained by his dad. The boat then drifted west, helpless on the currents of the Atlantic Ocean. The men took shifts rowing, rationed water to spoonfuls, and counted off days by carving notches into the side of the boat. But slowly, one by one, they began to fall. On day 11, Pilcher's foot had turned gangrenous. Pain, fever, and delirium overtook him, and he slipped off into the ocean. 2 weeks in, on day 14, Penny was sitting at the tiller when he was overcome by pain, and it also slid into the ocean. On day 15, Danny was overcome with stomach cramps. He handed his signet ring to Widdicombe, asking him to return it if he ever got home. And together with Hawkes, they drifted away arm in arm into the ocean and were overtaken by the waves. On day 19, Morgan, fingernails digging into the wood and raving, told the others that he was going to go down the street for a drink and slumped overboard. Apparently, he'd been drinking seawater. Check out my profile for part 2.